A year after leaving what she believed was her dream job in the federal government, Karine Taylor is still unemployed. The 45-year-old attorney from Washington, D.C., now finds herself competing in an increasingly difficult job market alongside more than 271,000 federal employees who have either been laid off or pushed out during President Donald Trump's second term. Her situation has been made even more difficult because her expertise lies in environmental justice, an area the Trump administration has aggressively targeted. Federal funding for environmental justice programs has been slashed, and private donors have become hesitant to support those efforts. As a result, opportunities in her field have nearly disappeared. If you don't already have connections inside an organization who can push your application forward, it's very hard to get anywhere, Taylor explained. Her struggle reflects a much larger national issue. For generations, federal employment has served as one of the strongest pathways into the Black middle class. Government jobs traditionally offered protections against wage discrimination through transparent pay scales, standardized hiring procedures, and clearer promotion systems. But the second Trump administration has dramatically reduced the federal workforce through mass layoffs and repeated resignation offers. At the same time, many agencies have abandoned long-standing public service roles and shifted toward advancing Trump's political priorities, including mass deportation initiatives and investigations targeting political opponents. Although these cuts were promoted as cost-saving measures, they have produced little financial benefit while causing significant economic hardship for thousands of workers. Black women have been disproportionately affected. Since Trump returned to office, Black women's unemployment rate has risen sharply. By March, it reached 6.1%, compared with the national unemployment rate of 4.3%, according to data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Like many former federal workers, Taylor fears losing her place in the middle class. The consequences stretch beyond individuals. Black women are more likely than white women to be primary breadwinners and often provide financial support to extended family members as well. Before Trump's return to office, Taylor had been preparing to buy her first home. In 2021, after working at a nonprofit focused on environmental justice, she joined the Department of Energy under the Biden administration in a role perfectly suited to her experience. The move significantly increased her income, raising her salary by nearly $80,000. With the stability of federal employment, she felt confident enough to begin working with a realtor and touring homes in the Washington area. "I was committed to staying," she said. But her position depended on an executive order rather than permanent law. When Trump returned to office and rolled back environmental justice policies, her work effectively vanished overnight. "My work disappeared," she said. "It literally just didn't exist anymore." Initially, Taylor rejected the administration's first deferred resignation offer because she worried promised compensation would never arrive. But after seeing staff numbers rapidly shrink and remaining employees forced to absorb multiple additional responsibilities, she accepted a second offer in April. Her final paycheck arrived in September. As of 2024, Black Americans represented approximately 19% of federal employees while accounting for about 14% of the U.S. population. Because of this, the shrinking federal workforce has had an especially severe impact on Black workers. Black women have suffered the greatest losses. In 2025 alone, they lost more than 95,000 federal jobs, nearly one-third of all federal workforce reductions. Many of the eliminated positions were connected to diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, areas where Black women were more likely to work and advance professionally. The majority of the increase in Black unemployment over the last year has come from job losses among Black women, said Valerie Wilson, director of the Economic Policy Institute's program on race, ethnicity, and the economy. Black women's employment rate declined by 1.4 percentage points last year, one of the steepest drops in the past 25 years. Comparable declines were not seen among Black men or women from other racial groups. "There is something unique happening to Black women in particular," Wilson said. "Highly educated Black women have been especially affected. Labor force participation among Black women with bachelor's degrees fell by 3.5 percentage points last year, the sharpest decline among all education levels. Roughly half of Black federal employees hold at least a bachelor's degree. Wilson noted that even as unemployment rises, fewer Black women are sue. returning to work. Job seekers aren't getting new jobs, she said. At the same time, industries such as manufacturing, finance, and service work have also reduced Black female employment, further intensifying economic pressure. If former federal employees cannot secure jobs with comparable salaries and benefits, Wilson warned, the damage to the Black middle class could last for years. A sudden fall. Shernice Mundell experienced a similar disruption. After spending a decade working for a private healthcare provider in Maryland, she accepted a federal job with the Office of Personnel Management in August 2024. The new role nearly doubled her income. Within a month, she was encouraged to apply for another position in a different department, which came with yet another promotion and pay increase. For the first time, Mundell felt she had room for real career growth. Everything was looking up for me, she said. The additional income allowed her to travel, save money for a new car, and plan to buy a house within 2 years. But because she was still a probationary employee when Trump returned to office, her position quickly became vulnerable. In February, she joined a mysterious virtual meeting where a pre-recorded video informed employees they were being terminated. 30 minutes later, her access to work systems was completely shut down. Despite applying for multiple jobs every day, she remained unemployed for 6 months. I kept hearing, "You're qualified, but we'll keep your application on file," she recalled. Just 1 week before her unemployment benefits expired, she secured a position at a university health system. However, the job pays less than her federal role, and the experience of abruptly losing her job continues to affect her emotionally. "When I finally got hired again, I still felt like I was waiting for the next shoe to drop," she said. A historic pathway to stability. Federal employment has long served as a critical source of economic stability for Black Americans. By 1912, the federal government had become the nation's largest employer of Black workers. Though discrimination remained widespread, including segregation policies introduced during President Woodrow Wilson's administration, opportunities expanded significantly during World War II and throughout the Civil Rights era. Affirmative action policies, union protections, and standardized pay systems helped reduce racial wage disparities and created more reliable opportunities for advancement. Published salary scales, Wilson explained, help prevent unequal pay for workers performing the same jobs. Federal positions also traditionally offered strong benefits, pensions, and greater job security. That is why today's sharp reductions in federal employment could create long-term economic consequences if the trend continues. Dreams delayed. Today, Taylor finds herself applying for jobs she would have pursued 15 years ago, despite her extensive experience and qualifications. "I want work that reflects the years I've put in," she said. She recently advanced in the hiring process for a lower-level Capitol Hill position, but the salary would have represented a major step backward, nearly reducing her income to what she earned before entering federal service. To survive financially, Taylor has withdrawn money from her retirement account and increasingly relied on credit cards. Without affordable health insurance, she says she has become extremely cautious about protecting her health. And the dream of homeownership that once felt within reach has now been postponed indefinitely. "It's been deferred," she said.